take, shall I say, that by the same mouth is basically a formula of magic that watch what you say to make sure you're being self-consistent, or otherwise you're going to be in error in some fashion. And so that's where also the concept that real truth can only be comprehended in silence because, in a sense, all words are lies. So that is the nut of that particular formula.
I want to bring up Frater Akkad because he's also involved in the Ma Eon. Most people are not aware, but for a short period of time, he declared the word the Eon of Ma had arrived, and he actually, this was in 46, that it had supplanted the Horus Eon. Later, he took this back and said he was premature in saying that. He was saying the word, and he was specifically saying the Ma Eon, M-A Eon, and he got this from the word of the Eon is manifestation. So it's the M-A of manifestation and then I-O-N Eon. So is there a connection, do you think, with your work with the Maat Eon and Akkad's Ma Eon?
Well, in the sense, if you go back to the Tetragrammaton formula, unfortunately, Ma is mother, Ma'at is daughter. So we are a little bit different there.
Okay.
But there's obviously connection. Yeah.
But he did consider it that it was the Maat Eon, the one of the daughter.
Right. It's just the word itself.
Right.
M-A.
Right. I think he was getting that from the word manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
So the work that you're doing, though, really is not directly connected to the work that Akkad was doing for that time. Okay.
No, I admire him as a fellow magician, but, I didn't derive.
Okay. There are a lot of people who actually think there is some kind of connection between the work that you're doing and what Akkad was coming up with his Ma Eon. So that's good to know that there are two kind of disparate things working in a similar direction. Right.
There wasn't, we weren't really linked, Crowley, Akkad, me, but nah, that doesn't work. But I definitely was impressed by his work, and especially what really floored me was the anatomy of the body of God.
Uh-huh.
That was the most impressive thing, but no, because he was still thinking linearly and, saying that the Aeon of Horus was over when it wasn't.
Okay. Well, I think that's a good introduction to kind of the work that you're doing with Maat Magick, and I'm guessing that there's this huge depth to this. In fact, I know there is, and that a lot of people have an interest in it. So would you be opposed to people sending, emailing or sending audio questions to the podcast, and then in the future you coming on and kind of answering those directly?
Oh, I think it's a great idea.
Okay, so let's try and get a kind of a dialogue about this.
All right.
But I also want to, before you go, let people know that you're involved in an organization called the Horus Maat Lodge. Can you talk about what the work that the Horus Maat Lodge does?
Well, other than informing each other and picking each other's brains like crazy, which is a wonderful thing, I have found, because most of the people who are in the lodge are, and like most magicians I've met, are highly intelligent people who know a lot about different specialties. The field of magic is way too big, I think, for anybody to comprehensively work at all.
Mm-hmm.
You have to specialize just because the field is too big. So you get a number of specialists getting together in a common cause, and it's dynamite. It really is. You have people who are really good at Enochian. We have several astrology experts. We have Lou Martinet from New Orleans Voodoo Tarot is a member. Just any specialty you can mention. There's probably somebody in the lodge who can give you good information on it. But one of the unifying things that we do is the 11-star working, which derived many years ago, back around 1984 or so, on a little vision that I had being a passenger coming home from work and just driving along, looking at the scenery, and all of a sudden I hear this voiceless sentence saying, "The thrones must be filled." I say, "Okay, what?" And it comes back, "The thrones must be filled, the katana must be complete." So that means, at least as I interpret it, that there needs to be representatives, working magicians, for every sephira on the Tree of Life. Plus Dayad. Okay. Okay. And thought, okay, this is an interesting thing, and how do we do it? So there is information in Maat Magick about the 11th star, and it was basically like a sending out of a call for initiates to take responsibility for a sphere of human activity that's represented on the tree. And it took a while, but I swear it has occurred. I mean, the ritual itself was first performed at Starwood, which I don't know if you know about this particular gathering.
Yes.
You do?
I know of it. I have not attended it.
Oh, hey, it's killer if you get a chance. But anyhow, so it's a place you can get enough magicians together in one physical space to do a group working, definitely. But it was at the counterpart in Winter Star, which is more a symposium that's held indoors in February. But we, in the Great Hall, we got the ritual together, performed it there, and it was launched. It was also performed in Seattle at the Harmonic Convergence celebrations in '85, and it got front page news with a color photo even from the local newspaper there. And many people have performed it hither, there, and yon, but it's evolved, of course, over the years. And we meet on the new moon, and we have a meeting place called the Moon-Based Temple, which is really cool because the moon is one thing that everybody around the world can see.
So it's not a physical place on this planet. It's more of an astral place?
Well, yeah, the Moon-Based Temple, it's in the sun, on the full moon, if you look up there at the crosshairs of the latitude and longitude in the center of the moon, there's a sort of underground bunker kind of temple, which there are descriptions in the books of, that we journey to and meet and greet our fellows up there. I can never distinguish individuals when I'm there astrally, but I get the feel for them. Okay. I mean, I sense the presence of other people, but use there's a scrying pool, okay, in the second room of the temple where the earth is centered in the pool. So it's kind of a feedback system. When we do ritual in that temple, it affects the entire earth. That's the idea. Okay. And so that's where we kind of gather, and we each do our own ritual in our own temples around the world. And like I say, we compare magical records afterward, and it usually has a theme. This year's working is based on human organizations that are to serve us. I mean, we are, they do serve us, and not always well. Like this time it was Hood, and it was news media and communications organizations that we were focusing on. This time we're working up the tree. Some years we work down the tree. So it's hard to describe, kind of, but that's basically it. And one of the reasons, I think, not just for the working itself, that we're doing this, is also one unifying factor for any group of people is shared work. And so instead of just drifting about like undirected or in a too vague situation, there has to be some point into being, and work is the best point for being together, and the best work is for changing ourselves and our fellow humans and our entire genus. So if it's organized like on a regular basis, and we thought the moons felt the best, 13 moon years,
mm-hmm.
that it works out for the best, especially if you're working with a tree.
Okay.
Because it leaves you a couple of extra moons to get into it and recap.
Well, if somebody wanted to join the Horus Maat Lodge, what would be involved in that process?
Okay, what happens is you go to the website of horusmaat.com and see what the material is on there. There's a contact Addy on the first page, and that will bring you into the attention span of Frater Shade, who is handling this. He's our gatekeeper and tiler of the temple, as it were, and he gets the incoming emails, and he asks the person to give a little background and sort of, write a little intro for themselves. This is our initiation ordeal. And those who respond a second time generally just pop right in, and they're asked to, they can lurk for as long as they want to, but eventually you would like to hear from them, and, with, hello, I'm so-and-so, and these are my fields of interest,
mm-hmm.
et cetera, and pop right into the conversational exchange.
So do you have like a forum online or a mailing list or something like that?
Yeah, we work it through an email list.
Okay. Now, you also have an online publication, the Silver Star?
Yeah, this is the brainchild and more or less the production of Frater Aeon, who is, he and Frater Shade both live out in Seattle, which is cool. But he's the one who got the e-zine together. And I think he's doing a great job with it, if you've seen it at all.
Yes, I have. And actually, that's kind of what brought me to the Horus Maat Lodge. Somebody made reference to it, and I looked at it and read some of the articles on it and everything. And that kind of converged with some other people suggesting that I interview you on the podcast.
Ah.
So it kind of had all of this convergence coming together, and that's why I contacted you.
Well, bless everybody's heart. Wonderful.
So I think this is great. I also want to make sure that people are aware that you have a number of books out. We've already talked a good deal about your Maat Magick book that was published by Samuel Weiser, but you also have a book called Way of Mystery that was published by Llewellyn. Can you just give a brief synopsis about what that book is about?
Well, it's taking the mystical side of it, and for me, the philosophical quest is got both magic on one side and mystery on the other, two of which can't really operate properly without each other. Two sides of the same coin. And so after the magic, I thought I'd sort of get into the mystical sort of thing.
Okay.
The actual title that I had before Llewellyn changed it was Wings of Rapture, The Way of Mystery. They changed it to The Way of Mystery, Magic, Mysticism, and Self-Transcendence. So let me just take a look at the table of contents here to be able to say, yeah, this is more of a linear setup than Maat Magick was. This takes more of the inner aspects of what I'm doing. I don't know how else to say it. It's not set up in the three-part system that Maat Magick is. It's a much more linear way. It does also feature the Tree of Life and explaining above and there are a few rituals, etc., embedded in the text.
Okay.
Rather than separated out as praxis in the back. And